Hey, what's going on? This is beginning of me doing, I guess, my book club or whatever. But I got a book here. It's called. Hope you can see it. It's called "Flat Broke in the Free Market: How Globalization Fleeced Working People," and it's written by Jon Jeter. Jon Jeter. Now, I first heard of Jon Jeter when he was working for the Washington Post, and he wrote an article that changed. I don't know if changed my life is the right way to say it, but it just changed my perspective of the world, you know. And it kind of just opened up my eyes. Like, wow, people are living hard, but you hear about people living hard on a massive level. You know, people in Haiti are having it tough. People in Africa, they're having it tough. But what Jon Jeter did, he took the general stories, the stories that you hear on the news, and you say, man, that sucks, and then you move on with your life type stories. And he brought it down to a personal level. Instead of saying they're having hard times in Zimbabwe, he talked about a specific person in Zimbabwe who would have hard times, you know. And you got to learn that person's story. He sympathized with that individual, and then he took that story and placed it into the context of the larger, I guess, of macroeconomics. I don't know if that's the right word, but he placed it in context of how that fit into the larger scale of things. What was going on the government level and how it had affected this specific individual, which other people might be doing it, but for whatever reason, maybe because they are talking about poor people or I just haven't come across them yet. But Jon Jeter really, he really revolutionized the way I think. Um, right now, um, want to have a little timer here so I don't make this video like ridiculously long. But I'm going to read a section of the book, and actually it's from the first chapter. Just a few miles north of Victoria Falls, on Zambia's eastern border with Zimbabwe, is a sprawling open-air market in a town called Maramba. It is on the edge of a two-lane highway that snakes through the city of Livingstone, past the two new luxury hotels and at least half a dozen shuttered factories, which rise like mirages in the shimmering summer air. Long, uneven rows of vendors stretch far and wide, so if you walk from one end of the market to the other, you pass through a section of brilliant light, then shadows, then back into light again. Near the front of the Maramba market, under the leafless baobab tree, where shallow rut in the dirt forms a footpath, Rose Shanzi sits on a warped stool on a February morning in 2002, with angry tropical sun bearing down on her. She folds her arms her waist she folds her arms across her waist as if she is straitjacketed and rocks gently back and forth, her right foot tapping nervously in the dirt. Okay, she mumbles to no one in particular. I'm open for business now. This is how the day begins for Rose, a sinewy woman with deep-set eyes and sharp features that jut like a sphinx from under her black headscarf. She awoke with a start this morning, and the primordial question that was her first waking thought is stalking her again. Will she and her children eat today? It is always a compound question. She has 5 children to feed, and often there is not enough food to go around. Sometimes tough choices have to be made. Still, all the answers Rose is searching for today lie in the neat rows of tomatoes arranged by size, ripeness, and price on the wooden table standing at eye level before her. To buy enough food to get her family through another day, Rose will need to earn roughly 75 cents. If I sell my tomatoes, we will eat today, she says to me, matter-of-factly. If I don't, we don't eat. This is no easy feat. The 75 cents that Rose needs to make ends meet is about 50% more than she ordinarily earns from a vegetable stand in a 12-hour day. Moreover, the competition at the Maramba market is stiff. After it opened in 1952, the number of vendors here remained constant for nearly 40 years. Then as unemployment swelled, it expanded to 5 times its original size within a decade. Rose is one of no fewer than 4,000 vendors peddling everything from AA batteries to zebra skin love seats to second-hand clothes. At least a few dozen women will sell tomatoes just as red and ripe as roses. And although the tomatoes cost just a few pennies per handful, customers are hard to come by. Jobs have evaporated, particularly since the duty-free shipments of foreign-made clothes began pouring into Zambia in the early 1990s, shutting down all 4 of the textile factories in Livingstone and its environs. No one has any money anymore, Rose is saying as she sizes up a woman who handled her vegetables but left without buying anything. The town has no buying power. Selling anything is like squeezing blood from a stone. Now, I gotta pay attention to the time. Still on the time. So, this story about Rose Shanzi, I just read you part of it from the book. I'm not sure if it's word for word written the same way that he wrote it in the Washington Post. And I believe it was about 2002, 2003 when I first heard of this guy, Jon Jeter. And the story of Rose, it just struck me. You know what I mean? That in order for her to eat, she had to make 75 cents. And it wasn't certain whether or not she was going to make that 75 cents. You know, you go to McDonald's, 75 cents. What can you buy on the menu for 75 cents? Nothing. Nothing, man. I can't think of a thing on the menu. Maybe back in the day, but nah, not even now. They even raised the price of a double cheeseburger. You can probably tell by my fat self that I probably had one too many double cheeseburgers. But it's kind of powerful, man. You know, just gets you to thinking. Just, you don't know what it is. You can't really explain it or put it into words. You just know something doesn't sound right. Just something, just, something stinks. Something is out of whack, something is out of order, and it gets your mind thinking. Here's a lady that worked for 12 hours. 12 hours. And she's trying to make 75 cents so her family can eat. And it's not guaranteed if she'll make that 75 cents. you know, I got more than 75 cents in my pocket right now, just jingling around. I can't do anything with it. But it's a matter of life and death. That's pretty damn serious. You know, um, this world is a crazy place, and there's a lot of very smart people out there. I'm looking at the camera now because I'm talking to the people out in the world. Um, we got to put our brains to this, man. We got to put our mental energy and time and effort to thinking of a solution so that these stories are rare and not the norm for anyone. This is crazy. We have a world with so much, you know, but how do we get it out there? Do we want to get it out there? is there financial incentives for us not to get it out there? Just you know, we got a new president, but we all got to make some changes, man. Seriously. Um, Not a preacher or nothing, but it inspired me. Hopefully, it inspires somebody out there. Maybe nobody. Maybe somebody will be inspired 30 years from now by this video. But just wanted to get it off my chest. Thank you, Jon Jeter. Again, the name of the book is, where is it? Flat Broke in the Free Market: How Globalization Fleeced Working People by Jon Jeter. Um, Go get it, buy it, read it, be inspired. Peace.